Good afternoon from Southeast Asia. We happen to be in Manila in BGC today, Bonifacio, Global City. We're going to do volume 2 of our walkthrough because we like it. We like BGC. This is St. Luke's Hospital. I was there for a while, for 3 days. Expensive. I was there 3 days, ambulance, ER, the whole bit. $2,600. No insurance. Good insurance. They never did identify what the heck was wrong with me. It seemed to be some kind of food poisoning. I was circling the drain. I couldn't get off the floor. Bad. And they fixed me up. It was really good care. A couple of things I didn't care for about it, and I'm going to do a full review on that in another tape. But pretty good. Pretty good care. Mercury drug. Lots of drugstores. Good luck getting anything. Going to take you an hour. There's McDonald's. You see the little open space there. You can walk out through that open space, but you cannot walk in through that open space. Where the chain is across there, you can walk in there, but the chain's always across there, so you can't. And if you try to walk in through the open space, the guard will be on ya, like a chicken on a worm. So it's one of those crazy little things about Philippines, kind of drive you slowly nuts. So Kitty has about 5 bowls of food that the volunteers have brought him. There's tuna and chicken and steak and pork, but he's found some little morsel here that he likes more than all of those things. So this is one of the parks, one of the cat parks. This is Saturday and Sunday. They set up a bazaar at the end of High Street, and we'll go over there and look at it more in a minute. But it's not too much of a bazaar, but it's kind of fun, sort of, a little bit, not too much. I like showing the sidewalks here because they're wide and they're clean. Oh, this is the mouse view. This is the mouse cam. Okay, if you're a mouse, that's what's going to look like. I don't know why we even show that stupid thing. I like it, okay, because if I'm a cat or a mouse, that's what I'm going to see. I don't know why I showed that. It's fun, okay? I like special effects. Nice, wide, clean sidewalks. I can't talk about that enough. I just love them to death. Nice little park across the street. That's one of the cat parks. Traffic is light. This is a Sunday, I believe this was, I can't remember, Saturday or Sunday, I'm not sure. It's hard to see here. See the light on the left? They got a big old studio light there. They're doing some kind of shooting a commercial here. It's really good pizza, but they don't understand English well enough for me to order. And even when I point to the menu, they can't seem to figure it out. So I don't go there anymore. We're going to show the delineation between the haves and the have-nots. On the left is BGC, that's the haves. To get to the place where the have-nots live, they keep it walled off. You got to go through this little tunnel kind of a thing. And in about 10-15 seconds, we're going to be into the land of the have-nots. These are where the people live they're the worker bees. They are the clerks and the waitresses and the dishwashers that make BGC possible, really, if it comes down to it. And this is where they live. They can't afford to live in BGC, so they live in these little enclaves that they have sort of walled off for these people so they can be close to work in BGC. But, the lifestyle ain't quite BGC style. So it's kind of sad. I mean, economics are what they are. But it's still kind of sad. Most of these people do not have air conditioning. It's 95 and spitting rain, high humidity. It's miserable. Only sometimes a breeze. It's hot. It's miserable. This is middle class. Okay, this is not the slum. This is middle class. Philippines middle class. These people all have titles to their land, deeds and titles. In the slums, they do not. This is a regular, functioning, formal neighborhood. I don't know if it has a name. Every time I go in here, it's a warren. It's a rabbit's warren. I get lost. I always think that I'm going to be able to recognize my way out, but I never do. I always end up on the GPS trying to figure out how to get out. But it's interesting to see. You see on the left there, it says this property is owned by Makati City. Well, they're having a kind of a war about what little part of the city owns what other part of the city. I don't know that it'll come to shooting, probably not, but people are not happy. Well, the people don't care. It's the government, the little governments of these little places, you know, Makati and BGC, and they quibble and they quabble and they go back and forth and they threaten each other, you know. The boundaries are unclear, to say the least. One thing I hate about, I try not to do it very often. I hate when you're walking with a camera. I hate the motion of the steps. It's up and down. It's a vertical motion. You can take out the left and right. You cannot take out the up and down. There's a trick to it. I don't usually do it. But this really annoys me, this up and down motion. It doesn't seem to annoy anybody else, but it annoys the heck out of me. And I'm going to have to start, I have a technique. It's tried and tested and true, and it works for making that just butter smooth. It's just kind of a pain to do it, but I'm going to have to do it because I don't like this. On this side, on the worker bee side, people are friendly. And they'll say, hey, how you doing? They'll invite you over to sample something they're cooking. The kids love you. They run around. They want high fives. They want fist bumps. In BGC, no, not going to happen. BGC is Stepford wives. I don't know. I'm happy with BGC from the standpoint of being able to walk around and not being mugged, because that's pretty darn safe. But the people are just a little too uptight and anal retentive in BGC proper. I don't know that I'll stay there. Maybe Makati is a little more to my liking, but it is safe. BGC is safe. I don't know how safe it is in these places at night, walking around with a, $15,000 camera. In BGC, I'd feel pretty much okay doing that. Here, man, might be okay, might not sure. So we're just trooping along here, looking at whatever we can see. I had intended this little trip to be, 12 minutes. Thought I knew where I was going. As usual, I didn't. Took a wrong turn somewhere. Don't know where. And I did finally find my way out of the maze, the rat maze. I had to use a GPS to do it, but the closest way to get out of it had me end up about a mile from where I wanted to be, 3/4 of a mile. I don't know that these little soy is a Thai word, means an alley or a small thing. These are soys in Thailand. I don't know what they call them in the Philippines. I don't know that these little soys have names. They might. I probably couldn't pronounce them anyway, but I mean, clearly the locals know exactly where they are and where they're going. But I don't. I just walk aimlessly and try not to look any more stupid than I have to. These are little taxis, the little yellow thing there on the left, that's a taxi. Trikes, they call them trikes. They're miserable. They ride hard. They're miserable. Did I say that? They're miserable. There you can see some, on the right you see some. There's one, good shot right there. I should have stopped and gone over. A lot of activity. A very, very lively area. The people are friendly and gregarious, and they like to joke around, And very, very often, I don't know if anybody did it on this trip, but very, very often, if they see you've got a camera, they'll stop and they want to ham around, jump around, the kids especially, but the adults also. Sometimes even the guards. I don't know. I like it. I'm more comfortable over on this side than in BGC. I'm just kind of a down home kind of person. You can live here in this neighborhood. You get a decent room for probably $5,000 a month, which would be 5,000 pesos, which would be right around $100. Yeah, I think you get air conditioning for that. It's going to be a studio. It's going to be okay. It's going to be clean. It's going to be okay for probably about $100. You know, $200 get you a really nice room in this neighborhood. If you go outside of this, where we were just before we came in here, you're going to pay $35,000 and up for a room that's not an awful lot better than what you're going to get right here. It's going to be quieter over in BGC. Rules are much. See, I'm trying to figure out where I am. I seldom know. Oh man, I got a pretty good sense of direction. I mean, you know, I was a pilot. I was a rescue tug captain for many years, and yet if I walk around this little neighborhood, I get lost. I don't know. I like it here. It's just relaxed and friendly, and I'm tempted. I might even end up getting a room down in here. Save a lot of money, and I don't think I've made a single friend in almost a year over in BGC. Here you would make a friend every day or two. There are some jeepneys, which they're just about to be discontinued. Yeah, see, I thought I'm going the right way, but I'm not. It turns out I'm going some other wacky way that I don't even know. I mean, there's no signs or anything in there. I don't pull out the GPS until all is hopeless. And there I'm trying to figure out, what did I do? It turned out to be a dead end. These are shops along the left there. You usually can't go inside them. They've got a window. You go to the window, you tell them what you want. And they'll root around, and if they have it, they'll give it to you. And if they don't have it, then you got to think of something else you might want, and then you tell them that. And it's a really tedious way to do business. But their living quarters are mixed in with their wares. So they don't really want you coming into their bedroom. You know, they're probably just out of sight. Mixed in among all their stuff for sale is their bed and their like that. So, because that's just all the room they can afford for a little shop like that. They're making literally pennies a day. There are some nice cars in here. I think they have nice cars because they aren't paying any rent. I think that's what it comes down to. Paying $100 a month in rent and probably $700 a month for the car or something like that. I don't know. And that's probably their total paycheck right there for the month. Let's see. Well, that would be a really high wage. So I don't know how they're affording these cars. Let's see. For most of the people living in this section, their monthly wage is going to be probably, if they're lucky, 15,000 pesos, $300, probably right around in there per month. Yeah, see, I took another wrong turn because I'm stupid. I have no freaking idea where I am. No idea. Like Whistler's brother, you know. Oh, yeah, it's a lot of fun. It was really hot, and I was really sweating. I sweat more when I'm lost. It's the stress, you know. See, I have no idea where this goes. I haven't even seen this little soy before, so I have no clue. It's getting shadier and shadier, sketchier and sketchier. But this is not the slums. I can't stress that enough. This is not even remotely the slums, and we will do slums one of these days. This is just average, middle class, not upper, not lower, just middle class. People are comfortable. One of the reasons we've got so much homeless in the U.S. is because the government will not allow people to live cheaply like they want to live. We got all kinds of building codes and stupid other codes that, well, they're kind of not stupid, but they kind of are stupid. They've got so many restrictions on how you can live that you can't live, so you end up in a tent on the sidewalk. And that's a big part of the homeless problem. If you tried to impose codes on these people, I don't know, 89% of them would be homeless in tents. Okay, so I've just come out of the Worker Bee neighborhood. That's BGC on the left up ahead. You can see the difference is stark. It's like going from back and forth from Manhattan to a not nice area. Here's our bazaar back in BGC at the end of High Street. Just a little weekend thing. They close off the street and they sell whatever they can sell. And the stuff isn't really too cool, so they only get a few lookers, not too many buyers. I've never found anything in there that was useful, but some people do, I don't know. Nice wide streets, especially when there's no cars. And that's looking up High Street. And we're at the very bitter end of High Street. And so we're going to go back this way through the little bazaar thing. Yeah, I should have slowed down and gotten up close and personal on their products. I'll do that one of these times when I go through there. It's, really not stuff really all that nice. I don't know. Some people love it. I don't know. There, this one's got a Q, so must have had better stuff. Smoothies. Okay. Here we go. Back to these wonderful wide sidewalks that you could drive semis down. Geez, I love them. I walk between 5 and 10 miles a day in BGC. And one of the reasons why it's pleasant to do that is because of sidewalks like this. Everywhere you go, it's a sidewalk like this. Pretty big contrast from where we were. Okay, does it rain in Manila? Oh, yeah, it rains. We had probably 6 weeks where it would stop raining for an hour and then right back to it. Certainly every day, almost all day, every day. And it got a little old, but in some of the other Southeast Asian countries I've lived in, it didn't rain hardly at all, like Ethiopia. So I don't know, the amount of rain in Manila, I'm not going to begrudge it. It's nice, it's refreshing. Walk around with umbrellas, it's fine. There's no flooding in BGC that I've ever seen. There is in most other areas of Southeast Asia, unless you live on a mountainside. Well, you still might get flooded then. So this was, I erroneously called this Dunkin' Donuts one other time. It's Krispy Kreme. I love the donuts. I love everything about this place except that they average around 4.5 minutes, 5 minutes to process every single customer. I mean, they go get their donuts. They walk up. They're ready to pay. How long does that take? 25 seconds. No, it's going to be 4.5 to 6 minutes. If I see more than 2 people ahead of me, if I see 3 people, I won't even go in because I know it's going to be interminable nonsense. And I don't know why they can't streamline it. Here's one of the BGC guards. People didn't have an umbrella, so he's escorting them around, and the guards are 97% excellent human beings. I love them. 3% I don't like. 3% needs to be culled, wished into the corn. But 97% is, pretty good average. They're really helpful. They're really polite. Good people, really good people. They're friendly. They'll smile, they'll wave, they'll joke around. They'll ask you to take their picture. But that 3% is real sucky. Let's see. Oh, one of the street cats again. Oh, this is one of the park cats. No tail. See a lot of his DNA running around there, so somebody was quite active. This one's a little skittish. The volunteers feed him and take care of him to some degree. I don't know to what degree they take care of him. I don't know if they're really sick. I don't know if they take him to the vet or not. The sign here that says, "Don't pet the cats." Yeah, right. Like that's going to happen. Most of these cats, they want you to take them home. They want a mom or a papa. They just want to go live in your condo. Even though the life here is pretty darn good, they still would rather live in your condo, and I would rather they lived in my condo too. And it's a really good thing that my condo doesn't allow cats, because I'd have 43 of them. These are nice cats. They're a little bit, all the cats in Southeast Asia are a little teensy bit bitey. And I don't think I've ever had one draw blood. Well, maybe a little bit, but now watch him. See, he's just being petted nice, and see what he does. They just like to nip and bite. See, I'm being very gentle now. Watch him. Yeah, oh yeah, I love you. Oh, yeah. But I'd like to bite you too, if that's okay. Yeah, oh yeah. Oh, did that hurt? Did that hurt? Human? Yeah, I got teeth. Be careful. Well, I'm going to do one whole episode on cats of BGC, because I love them to death. And pretty much everybody does. The people love cats here, but they love dogs more, which is disappointing. Yeah, just everywhere. This one's got his tail, at least. See, the same marking, same gene pool. So, oh, he's got ear mites. I can tell just by looking at him, there's ear mites. So I don't know, do the volunteers, will they come in and take care of ear mites? It's a pretty easy, cheap thing to do. I don't know. I don't know what all they will do. We've got a kitten that was really sick, and I tried to get the volunteers to go get him and take care of him, and I see now he's gone, so either he's dead or they did go get him. I'm not sure. Okay, on the left here, this is the wall delineating BGC from the worker bee area. Okay, so night views of, this is the worker bee area. Yeah, it didn't really, not really appealing all that much. Let's see what else we got here. Yeah, not really. Can't really see a lot. Not a lot of activity down there. Let's see. Well, this is a little plaza thing with some restaurants. It's a fun place to go sit, people watch, take pictures. Yeah, it's a nice, pleasant place. Nice area. Got your donuts and things like that. Unhealthy things, lovely things. We're just going to do a little walk through, look around. BGC is peppered with these. They're everywhere, little plazas. They all have a different feel, different character. You're not going to find a needle. You're not going to find a crack anything. You're not going to find any crime. The people are going to be polite. There's not going to be boom boxes. People ask me why I left the U.S. 10, 11 years ago. Well, this is why. I have not found any place in Southeast Asia anywhere, and I've lived in most of the countries, I have not found any place where the people were even remotely as bad as what I found almost every place in the U.S. So yeah, can you escape that BS in the U.S.? Yes, you really can. and you don't need a lot to afford it. Yes, you can escape it. You can escape the matrix. You can escape the insanity. There are places in the world that are not yet insane. I have no desire to ever return to the U.S. ever. Not in my lifetime. Never. I hope I don't ever have to. But, even Cambodia, which is rough and tumble, is not as crazy as the U.S. Here's one of the malls in the uptown area, kind of a central area of BGC. It's called Uptown Mall. It's a really pretty mall. I like it. It's not the biggest mall in the world, but there's an awful lot of stuff in there. And I enjoy coming to this one quite a lot. They've gone to great lengths to make it pretty and welcoming. Right out in front of Uptown Mall. Looking around, you can see in the evening when it cools down 40 degrees, the people come out, because then you can walk around without sweating too much. A little bit. In the daytime, you got to be intrepid. It's going to be 95 and 79% humidity and no wind, and it's going to be a little difficult. It's hard for me some days to get in my 5 or 10 miles. Even at nighttime, the mall is all spruced up, kind of a party atmosphere, but you won't find raucous partying people. Now, what if this was a scene in the U.S.? What would you see? You would see crack this and crack that, and punks and gangbangers and ne'er-do-wells and every kind of bad people that's going to probably outnumber the good people. But here it's nice and they're polite and they're quiet. Here's back to the fountain. I like the fountain. I'm sorry. One day I started to take some footage of the fountain like this in the daytime. And there are signs all over BGC that say BGC is photo friendly. Oh, we want you to come and take pictures because then everybody will learn about BGC. Well, okay, except that some of the guards haven't gotten this memo. And I've been accosted by guards a couple of times. Pretty nasty incident. One of them was. But this time I was just photographing this thing like everybody else. And one of the guards expressed his disapproval and came over and started just getting ready to tell me that I couldn't video the fountain, and I just left. I didn't want the confrontation. So some of the guards need to get up to speed on this crap because they're doing a terrible disservice to BGC by telling people they can't photograph in BGC. It's nonsense. It's crazy. There's somebody right there taking pictures. It's what people do. That's what they do. There have been some incidents where the guards have been so vehemently opposed to taking pictures in BGC that they have stopped motorcycle delivery guys in the traffic, in the intersection, and tried to rip the GoPros off their motorcycle helmet. And there have been some altercations. There have been some minor injuries. I hope BGC admin has got a handle on that crap because that's insanity. More fountain. Let's see. The fountain's going to do something cool here in a minute, which is why I keep coming back to it. I didn't know exactly what time it was going to start. So I kept messing around, trying to wait it out. And eventually paid off pretty soon. I'm going to mute the sound for pretty much all of these clips except for the one that's coming up because it was kind of nice. I didn't realize I was sitting right next to one of the 8-foot tall speakers. And that woke me up. Got the blood pumping. Okay, maybe it's the next clip. It's coming right up. Coming up. Wait for it. Yeah, here we go. Okay, so they do this every night. I believe it's every night. At least on the weekends. Put on a little show. And the show gets better in a minute. It draws a pretty big crowd. Lots of people come just to see the fountain show and listen to the music. And then, of course, they go in the mall and end up shopping or eating, whatever. The mall is just chock full of restaurants. Most of them are quite good. Most of them are very reasonably priced. The American clones are the exception. You see Texas Roadhouse up there on the top. No, don't bother. Sorry, this is not a travel log for BGC. This is real. It's reality. I'm not doing a travel log. I refuse to do them. I used to do them years and years ago for magazines. I got paid a lot. I won't do them anymore. I won't spew out fake crap. I'll tell it whatever I see, whatever I've experienced. That's what you're going to get. So many times I've watched, airy, fairy, fluffy travelogue crap, and I thought, oh, yeah, I think I'd like to go there. And then you go there, and it's completely different from how it was portrayed, and you're thinking, well, what a disingenuous piece of crap that person was for sort of tricking me into going to this place. But I will not pull the punches on BGC. This is what you get. Unfortunately, in BGC, it's the percentage of good stuff is very, very high. Very few problems with BGC. I do have a few. I've got some issues, like the discrepancies in the photography rules are really a big one for me. I retired as a photographer, so that's kind of close to my heart. I had a nasty experience one day where I had an old retired DSLR, small one, some small frame thing, just like a kit lens on it, just crap. It was a crap walk around camera. You fall down, break it, you don't care. And I saw a little grassy knoll kind of place, and I thought, well, that's kind of pretty. It was trimmed and the grass was green. There was no people in sight. And I thought maybe that'd make a nice desktop for the computer. And I snapped one picture, turned the camera off, was walking away. And I hear a boom, 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 boom up behind me. And I turned around and said, old guard. And he literally ran at me and tried to make a grab for the camera. And he's screaming, no pictures. I think he said, no photos, BGC, no photos, BGC. And he's just ranting that. And I was instantly pissed. We were 8 or 9 feet from a big government-placed sign that said BGC is photo friendly for all cameras. Okay, so this guy's off his rocker. And we had quite a heated argument. Really ticked me off. Really did. And he didn't like the fact that I was talking back to him. He called in backup. And I told him, I'll see you at the BGC admin office. I'll see you there. I'll meet you. And I walked away. And I did go to the office, and I had gotten a little bit of footage of him on a cell phone also. Showed him everything. And they said, gotcha. We got this for you. Don't worry about it. We're going to take care of it. And I wondered if they had fired the guy. They didn't. I saw him just a few days ago. I went over and took some pictures right next to him. He never said a word. So they solved the problem. But you will run into this with some of these guards. They got the idea somehow that take a picture, it's going to steal somebody's soul. I don't know where they get this crap. It's one of the peculiarities of the Philippines. A little bit nutso. Leaning like they kind of really sort of want to be communist. Okay, same fountain, just a different angle. I like this mall. It's a really homey, comfortable mall for me. I've only tried about a third of the restaurants. The only bad meal I had was the Texas roadkill. No, I'm sorry. The Texas Roadhouse, or whatever the hell they call that thing. I did not really like any part of that meal. I didn't like the food. I didn't like when they came I started dancing and clapping their hands 18 inches from my ears while I'm trying to have a quiet meal. I didn't like the food. I'll say it again. I didn't like the price. Didn't like anything about it. So, didn't go back. Some people do like it. Fine. Go every day. Don't care. I won't be joining you there. I don't know I had never been to one in the U.S., so I don't know if the ones in the U.S. are better. Most of the clones that show up in Southeast Asia are far substandard from the U.S. versions. There's a Denny's right down the street from here. It's terrible. It's not even, it's just terrible. Terrible. Same scenario. Everything about it is terrible. Food is bad. The food is cold. You don't get what you order. Prices are high. They don't have normal Denny's things. A third of the stuff on the menu, no have, because they forgot to stock it. It's a bad restaurant. And Denny's was kind of my go-to in the U.S. I love Denny's. I could live on Denny's every meal for my whole life. But in Southeast Asia, the ones I've seen anywhere in Southeast Asia have been just terrible, terrible crap. The Filipino restaurants are pretty darn good. Uptown Parade, I'm not even sure what that is. I guess there must be, this is right on the end of Uptown Mall, so I don't know, there must be some little mall thing up above there that I've never gone to. Uptown Parade. Maybe that's just the name of this little street thing that you walk down. I'm not sure. There, watch out, lady, the guards will get you. Jeez. See, this guy ducked. He saw me filming. He ducked under the camera because that's how polite these people are. They're polite to a fault. And it makes you want to be polite also. So I am. I appreciate their culture and their society. And I try to enhance it rather than to be a burden upon it. This is pretty close to Uptown Mall. It's just a night scene, lots of food, lots of little places to get anything you want, lots of nice places to sit. It's very pleasant. It's not loud. It's a nice place. It just is. There's no fault that I can come up with for this whole stretch here. It's nice. I guess I got my picture taken. I don't know. See if we get that bump in the walk. I know how to take that out. It's just a pain. But I'm going to have to start doing it because it's so annoying to me. Some of the videos you see on YouTube, they get a really pronounced bump in the step. I can't even watch them. You know, this one is, what I'm doing here is fairly benign, but it's, if I can see any bump in the step at all, I don't like it. So. And there's no kind of automated gimbal that will take the vertical movement out. There's a whole nother technique you have to do. The gimbals will take the left and right stuff out and stabilize things, but they will not take out the up and down. They cannot do vertical. But one of these days I will employ my secret technique, and it will look like I'm on a trolley rail sliding past. And I'm not going to tell you how I do it. No, it's not the ninja walk. A lot of guys practice the ninja walk. No, that helps, but it's not. My technique is not the ninja walk. You know, mine is far more refined than that. Let's see. I think we're at the end of this little strip here. Yeah, just back to these little, cafes on wheels. Their food is usually good. It's a little bit expensive because it's BGC. Everything in BGC is a little bit expensive. And you just deal with it. You can live in BGC pretty well for about $4,000 a month. If you got that, if you got a pension like that or something, you're in. Have a good life. Nice life, safe life, good medical, good condos, good police, good guard system, good malls. $4,000 a month, you're in. Any less than that, you got to start cutting corners. You can do it. I mean, I see guys coming here on, $1,000 a month. They're not living too well. Could you do it on 2,000? Yeah, you're going to live cheaply on 2,000. You're not going to be going to McDonald's too much. 3,000, yeah, you could live fairly well. If you're careful, you could live okay on 3,000. 4,000, yeah, could live nice. Nice. 4,000 a month, if you get an income of 4,000 a month, you were considered quite disgustingly rich by Philippine standards. That's disgustingly rich. I like the LEDs at night. It reminds me of Vegas or something like that. This is not Vegas by any stretch, but I don't know. My simple child's brain, The Grand Hyatt. If you're going to come to BGC and you want a nice place, go to the Grand Hyatt. I can't remember what the rates are. I was going to look them up and I forgot. Quite expensive. I suppose you could probably blow $1,000 a night. But it's going to be nice. Here's a neighborhood community garden area. Oh, that went by quick. Here's some more BGC art in quotes. They have a very strange sense of art. And I can't really get behind it. The buildings are nice and they're pretty. And they're well built because they're in a huge earthquake zone, and so they have to be well built or they would fall down. Just a little random park area. You can go in there and sit down. I don't know what business or anything it belongs to. Just another nice sidewalk. You can walk around, not be bumped into very often, only 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times a day. Filipinos bump into each other a lot. It's kind of like bumper cars for them. I stopped in a Harley shop here, and they were delighted to have me film. You got to ask, because people can be a little bit strange in the Philippines about pictures. Remember the American Indians, they didn't want their pictures taken because they thought that was stealing their soul. Well, sometimes you wonder in the Philippines if that's what they think is going to happen. Harleys have come a long, long way since the days that I rode them in the, it would have been, late 60s, early 70s, up to about 1980. I thought Harleys were cool. And then I learned some things that now I ride other motorcycles. I still think they're cool. I just think other motorcycles are cooler. And they go faster. A lot, like 2.5 times. Yeah, nice skylines. I like the skylines here. Pretty. Just pleasing. The buildings aren't extravagantly cool, but they're pretty. Cop car. BGC police. More skyline. Really nice skyline. Mercury Drug, again, another one. Good drugstore, just really hard to get anything. You can easily spend an hour in the queue to get up to for any kind of prescription item. Oh, here's this stupid art again. I just can't get behind that. I just can't. It just doesn't do anything. I find it annoying. I'm sorry. Nice, wide, clean streets much of the day. They look just like this. More skylines. Famous brands all over the place. Little park there. These are mostly condos in this area. $1,500 a month will rent you, lease you a really nice condo. One of the little more upper class condos. everywhere you go, you know, at its worst, it's going to look like this. This is about as bad as it gets in BGC. This is as ugly as it gets. A lot like Manhattan. Yeah, different flavor to it, but I knew a guy here who was living on floor 60, one of these towers. I can't tell how tall that is. I don't think one goes 60, but nice life, nice view. Just a little artsy place. This is at the end of High Street. They go to a lot of trouble to make things look aesthetically pleasing and artsy. You know, I appreciate the effort. I'm not really on board with their art statement, but I don't have to be. You know, we are visitors here in someone else's home. You don't go into somebody else's home and say, oh, I don't like that painting. You know, that sucks. No. You don't say anything. Keep your mouth shut. This is the Mind Museum. I have no idea what's in there. I haven't been there. I will someday. The Mind Museum, right in BGC. Everywhere you look, it's just pretty skylines. If you like buildings. I mean, I like trees. I like buildings too. I like everything. And it's hot where I'm doing this broadcast from. Got 2 air conditioners. This is it's in one of the parks. This is just a platform thing they set up in case people want to practice their dance steps or things like that. Beautiful vegetation everywhere you look. Healthy, nice, well kept, clean. You will not find needles. You will not find garbage at all, ever. Rental bikes down there. Rental bikes are everywhere. If you got an account, you just get on one and scan it with your phone, and you're off. You drop it off when you're done. This is one of the parks. BGC has this weird thing where they apparently don't want you to sit down. These were placed there, obviously, so people could come and sit, but they're roped off. This whole green area is roped off. You can't go in there. Here's a little mosquito breeding ground. Yeah, that's nice. I don't know. Maybe they treat that with some poison or something so the mosquitoes can't live in there. I'm not sure. It would stand to reason that they might, because dengue fever is really big in Southeast Asia. And it ain't pretty. You don't want it. Our skyline. I'm sorry, I like us skylines. I'm trying to give you a complete and total overview of what it would feel like to be in BGC. This is what it would feel like. Nice buildings, clean everything, no crime. Well, there's a little bit at night. Alleys, probably like that. Not too much. Okay, stark difference. This is 20 feet off of where we were just looking. This is the worker enclave, one of many. The people who make BGC run, the engine of BGC, this is where they live. Another view of that community garden. You can rent little plots down there and grow anything you want. And nobody will steal it. Nobody will touch it. It's just every day it's going to be there. It's going to be unmolested. SNR is a Costco clone. Here's a nice view of a particular skyline in BGC. Nice buildings. That green one there, a little bit on the left, when the sun hits that thing just right, it glows like a huge emerald. And I caught it once in a photo. And I think that, I don't know where that photo might be on Stock Photos Worldwide. I'm not sure. But it is a gorgeous, just an emerald green glowing tower thing. But the sun is only on it for, I don't know, about 15, 20 minutes a day. But it is really striking. Okay, on the right, BGC. On the left, the workers. Okay, right in the very center of the screen, you can see that is the little tunnel thing we walked through. You got to walk through that little tunnel to get from the right-hand side to the left-hand side. You can't just walk in there. You got to go through that tunnel thing, and there's a guard in there. They do their very best to keep it separate without actually putting bars around it. Here's a dog park that wouldn't let me sit down one day. I was really hot and tired and thirsty and feeling pretty darn weak and unsteady and unstable, and I wanted to just sit on a bench for 5 minutes. Couldn't do it because I didn't have a dog. All that down there, you would think there would be benches all under those bushes. Nope, not one. The same area. The little yellow things are the taxis, the trikes. Cheap, loud, rough, hot, scary. But I take them all the time. They're really hard for me to sit up straight in because they're just not high enough. Most of them are not. Now that might be Makati off in the distance. I'm not sure. Either that's Makati or Makati is more to the left. I am not sure. Here's the Lexus dealer that's, it looks really bad from here. If you go down on street level and look around, it's beautiful. But from up this vantage point, it looks like crap. Oh, it's out looking over the dog park. BGC on the right. Beautiful dog park. I wish they had places you could sit in there. I would spend half the day in there. And here on the left, you see the wall. Look at the wall. That's to keep the worker bees in their place. It's economics, you know. Economics are real. I'm sorry, they are. I wish they weren't. They are. That's one of the screens. There's construction going on here, so they've got these screens over the streets to protect people. Because lots of stuff will fall off. Go right through the roof of your car. This is the worker area again from a little bit of a vantage point. I'm actually in BGC shooting this footage. So I'm like literally 1 foot on the other side of the wall inside BGC. These guys were weird. Hamming it up for the camera. Okay, maybe Makati. I'm not sure. There's another crop of high-rises to the left. I don't know. This one's not going to pan over there, I guess. That might be Makati off to the left, or this might be. I'm not sure. Yeah, see, just nice, wide, clean, open streets. Rush hour, of course, this is going to look different, but for most of the day, most of the city looks about like this. It's just pleasant. It's nice. I'm sorry, it's nice. It is. I like it. I could live here. Oh, I do, yeah. Okay, BGC on the right, workers on the left. Again. Very pretty on the right. Very artistic on the left. Artistic, that's my word. Nice clean lines to all the buildings. Yeah. And all those people make all that stuff off to the right possible. Because without them, there wouldn't be BGC. And that may be, again, that may be Makati. I'd have to look on the map to see. Guy's sound asleep. It's the guard. Protects McDonald's from ne'er-do-wells. Little park things everywhere. Beautiful vegetation. People into vegetation would appreciate this much more than I, but I still like it. It's just lush, you know. You look at it, you think, yeah, I'd like to eat some of that. Big balcony up there. People living a good life, a little bit of a pool. More rocks you can't sit on because they're roped off. This grass is very delicate, so they don't want people walking on it. I don't think it's all that delicate, but if I was in the forest, you know, I'd be shooting scenes of trees, but I'm not in the forest. I'm in the concrete forest, so we're shooting scenes of concrete trees. Nice streets. I'm just blown away by the streets. Nice. They're so spacious that they relax you. Okay, this is looking across the street at the Mind Museum. T-Rex crossing, you got to watch for those. They still do have them in the Philippines. Not a lot, but most of them got killed and eaten, you know, but there's a few roaming around. Mind Museum. I got to go in there and see what the heck that thing is. Hope it's not boring. Probably got to pay a lot. I don't know. Condo. Nice condo. It's seldom boring. You walk a block, you get a whole another view. You walk a quarter of a block, you get a whole another view. And I have no idea why I shot. Oh, I just wanted to show the armored car. The place is lousy with armored cars. You know, they'll park and 7 guys with machine guns hop out and they're giving you the evil eye, you know, looking at you. And they go to some little pet shop and they collect, you know, $129. They all surround it with their guns at the ready. Back to the armored car, and off they go. They take everything pretty seriously. Back to the bazaar. These clips got a little bit mixed up. Back to the High Street Bazaar. Pretty typical day. Often it's a little cloudier, often some rain, spit for an hour or two, and then stop. And you don't leave the house without an umbrella, ever, not ever. One of the malls, there's so many malls, I haven't even been in this one. I don't know what's in it. Oh, a handsome dog. I just took a liking to the guy and had to shoot him for a minute. People are sensitive about you petting their dogs here, so you don't even ask because you don't want to annoy them to the point where they have to say no. It's better you just don't ask. Filipinos are a little bit sensitive about quite a number of things, not like the rest of Southeast Asia. Well, that's not true. In Thailand, people are sensitive about some really, really crazy things. Crazy things. Crazy things. We'll cover that. Actually, I've covered that before. We've got a whole bunch of podcasts and videos at various websites. Stockphotosworldwide.com has a bunch. Theyclaim.com has a bunch. RetireSoutheastAsia.com has a bunch. The RSS feeders around the world have them so far. We've got about 300, no more, a little over 300 videos out. We're only just now dabbling with YouTube. We have avoided them for many, many years because we didn't like them. They did some bad things to us like 20 years ago, cost us a registered trademark. We know people who have set up nice little businesses on YouTube and then had the entire rug jerked out from under them because YouTube changed its terms of service, the TOS. So that suddenly every single video they had out there that they were making a living on, suddenly they're all disallowed. Channel is canceled, no warning. Just one day they wake up, got an email, your channel is dead. That's it. And their entire income is gone. So we have avoided them religiously for many, many years. We're just now barely starting to mess with them. And I don't know how it's going to turn out. Everybody lives in fear of YouTube. Everybody lives in fear of their content on YouTube, and we are no different. So we don't know. Yeah, right about in here is where I took that one snapshot one day where the guard ran up behind me and grabbed for my camera. No photos, BGC. I think that's the only English he knew. Ticked me off a lot. I made a really big deal at BGC admin. Really big deal. And apparently it worked. Shouldn't have had to go through it though. Man. Okay, you can see I'm filming there. There's a guard right there who didn't look twice at me. So. Oh, here's the doggy haircut. I wish the window reflection wouldn't have been there. I'd like to go inside there and shoot these guys. I don't know if they'd let me. They might. They might. Depends on how you approach them. It depends on the size of your camera, too. The bigger the camera, I have some huge DSLRs with really big lenses, and those will catch more flack than a little GoPro like this. They don't care. I have some cell phones that have incredible resolution. They don't care about those. But if I get an old DSLR with bad resolution, oh, you can't shoot with that. No. A little bit of craziness. Okay, here we are back to the worker enclave part of it. The weird thing is the people down there are far happier and more gregarious than anybody in BGC proper. These people are friendly. They're smiling. They're running around. The kids are riding their bikes, throwing water balloons. BGC, no. You hardly see any kids at all. And if they attract any attention whatsoever, the guards are on them. So BGC is a little bit too much Stepford for me. It's got a lot of perks, it's got an awful lot of perks in BGC. I just wish they would relax a little bit. 25%. Relax. Just relax. Chill. It's like Singapore. Singapore has kind of the same problem. Here's the same condo. I just like the design of it. I don't know. I guess some people got those balconies and some didn't. I don't know. Traffic's picking up a little bit. It picks up through the day. This is probably noonish, I'm thinking. And it will just get steadily worse until it's gridlock at about 3:30, something like that. I don't know what that's supposed to be. That's more Filipino art that I do not grasp. So I'm switching back and forth here because I'm trying to show you the contrast, the haves and the have-nots. I see this and it makes me sad, but I also go down there and the people are happy. What the heck, And there's some scenery through the trees in the park. It's not a bad place to live. It truly is not a bad place to live. I think this is our last clip. If you guys like these, views do us virtually no good at all. Subscriptions help us. That's what YouTube recognizes, subscriptions. We're building this channel. We've got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of videos that we've got to go through them and try to make them YouTube safe, whatever that means. It's tedious. we're going to put about 300 on here and see how it goes. But subscriptions is what we need to make this work. If nobody subscribes, we just won't do it. At some point, we'll do 5 or 10 or 20 or 50, and then we'll say, well, nobody cares. Okay, and then we'll stop doing it. So if you want to see stuff from us, you got to subscribe. I don't think they bug you about it. I don't think they send you emails or anything like that, or spam or anything like that. As far as I know, they don't. But it's like that's your payment for getting free content. Just hit the subscribe. That's paying us in a roundabout kind of way. Okay, so we've got about 300 alien encounter podcasts. They're nasty. They're full of vulgarities and adult content and stuff like that. Oh, they're terrible, terrible. We can't put those on YouTube until we go through and put a lot of beeping in there. YouTube is a little bit anal retentive. No. YouTube is extremely anal retentive. So you got to be careful what you put on. But if you like, supposedly real encounters with aliens, subscribe to this channel. We don't even have that channel up yet. Subscribe to this one, and that will tell us, okay, you want more stuff by us, and then we'll start chunking, putting more stuff on there. We've got about 25 more episodes of how to retire in Southeast Asia. They're going to go on this channel. This is the 10 Bears Travel channel. And the idea behind that was that, Goldilocks went around and she only checked the beds of 3 bears, and she was happy. It's pretty easy to please, 3 bears, and she found one good bed. We're saying, no, check 10 bears, and maybe you'll be even happier. That's our rationale for 10 Bears Travel, whatever. Okay, so we'd be done. All this stuff, stockphotosworldwide.com. And that website will tell you where to find, offshoots of our material, which all will end up on YouTube unless they ban us or something, which they might, You can't talk about aliens on YouTube. We don't know what. That's the problem. Nobody knows what you can say on YouTube. So you just live in fear. You say things you think are innocuous and innocent. YouTube says, no, we don't like that. You're banned. You don't know. From one given instant to the next, you don't know. That's why everybody's scared of YouTube. And we are too. We don't want to go to a lot of work and then have our content jerked. I mean, if they jerk it, it's always going to be on the website. But it'll get a lot more exposure on YouTube. I don't know. It gets pretty good exposure on the website, so I don't know. Anyway, okay, we'd be done. Thank you very much. From BGC, Manila, Philippines. Thank you very much. Good evening. Wait. We're going to do similar of these Thailand and a bunch of other countries I lived in. At some time in the future, probably I will do some on ghost towns of the Old West that are still existing, stuff like that. I rode rustler patrol for a ranch in Nevada for years. Horseback all day, all night, shooting the engines out of rustlers' trucks. So we'll have some material. We're going to have material on all kinds of crazy crap. All right, that's my spiel. That's my rant. I'm done. Thank you very much, and good evening, and good night.